Good evening, Speed Gaming. Welcome to the exciting conclusion of week 2 of the ALTTPR League. This is our final Kaz Boots match for the season, and we've got a couple of great runners for it. Shireen, back in his first league race since season 4, for your mom's favorite Rando team, and Flip Heel of Don't Forget to Track Us, trying to get his team on the board. I am Drossi here with my good buddy Sabotender. How are you, buddy?
Drossi, I am so glad to be here. We picked a great match to be a part of here. Shireen and Flip Heel, both great runners in the community, and I'm really looking forward to seeing this and closing out Cast Boots week here with you.
Yeah, it's been a fun mode to just, after having to keep track of 4 runners during the co-op week last week, it's nice to have, just a chill mode to relax to.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of nice fast matches, too. I think someone even put in a sub-hour this week.
I would believe that. This is a quick mode for the most part, so unless the seed really throws something at our runners, we should see some pretty fast times come out of these guys here.
That's what I'm expecting, and of course the first 5 minutes are pretty well scripted. I mean, of course, we'll see a bit of difference in execution.
It's nice early on because you do get to see if there is like a little bit of a gap, even in this short little segment, as to who might have the upper hand when it comes to execution, and then that might factor in later on in the race.
Yeah, it definitely gives you a sense of who's likely to be executing better. But of course, the one who isn't executing better can still outroute the other one.
Absolutely, that's what this game's about. Just a big heart, and that's nice. Off the bat there, a little bit of extra health.
Always nice.
Alrighty, so as we're making our way to the uncle here, just a quick shout out to our tracker today. It's to OJ. OJ is doing the tracking behind the scenes there. Kind of new to tracking, so go easy on him, chat, and help him out when you can. Really appreciate OJ stepping in here to volunteer.
Yeah, it is his second ever tracking job, so we're really glad to have him. And got a little bit of money from Uncle Chest. Nothing super useful so far. There's a map check, though. That looked like a 5-6 in Eastern and 2 pendants.
Okay, not bad, not bad.
Not great. You like to see more crystals in the light world.
Generally, you do, yeah, those being the easier dungeons to tackle.
And yeah, worth noting that neither of those pendants is the green pendant, so that one's hiding out in the dark world.
Oh, interesting.
As are 6 of our crystals. Of course, Shireen, a little bit behind Flip, but that's largely just due to making that map check. What's your preference on when to do the map check during a standard opening? Because a lot of different runners seem to do it a lot of different ways.
Yeah, most definitely. I feel like I like to hold off on doing it. I don't know. It's probably absolutely worthless to try and suss out what the items might be telling you early on, but I try and play that way, I guess. And I generally hold off on my map check until much later in the seed. I find I could be already done all the basic checks before even checking my map for the first time, maybe like 10 minutes in or something. So
or
yeah,
go into a
their own way.
dungeon and see what letters on the screen.
I don't think I'd go that far, but I'm sure it's happened. I would believe it.
Also, shout outs to Shireen's Mario Kart MSU. If we switch to Flip Heel at some point, he has a Final Fantasy Mix MSU going.
Mario Kart's keeping the tempo up here, which I like.
Yeah, definitely got a jazzy escape.
Yeah, for sure. I gotta say, it's nice to see Shireen back in the league after a little bit of a hiatus there. He's a close friend of mine. I'm just really glad to see him kind of kicking butt in competitive settings again. So yeah, nice to see him. And Flip Heel, longtime member of the community. It's great to see that they're still plugging away here, doing well.
Yeah, and they are both going to be at SpeedGaming Live, so those of you who
Oh,
will be there, you will hopefully get the chance to meet them.
that's awesome. Good stuff.
Okay, so I don't think we've seen the map yet, have we?
No, we have not seen the map yet.
Okay, so one of those seeds where you have to see if you take note. If it's not in the back of Escape, it's in Sank, and you can save a second or two not opening Sank chest. And Flip will be the first one to back of Escape here. Oh, bombs and a glove and some arrows. Bombs are nice to have going into CAC 3 is really all you need, so that should have these runners pretty happy.
Yeah, no doubt. Nothing that'll kind of lead to any deviation from the standard. I would think at this point. I think Kakariko play is probably what we'll see, but we'll find out soon enough.
I mean, you could rush the mountain out of logic. I don't know who would.
You could, yeah.
And Flip did count the chest, knows that's the map, so he's skipping it. And there's Flip's map chest, map check, and Shireen grabs the map.
Yeah, one thing I always One
thing I always find a bit weird about Kaz boots is, you know, the stuff that becomes Sphere 1 because the boot starts. So coming out of Sank, like, Bonk Rocks is always the next check. Regardless of what you're going to do after that, Bonk Rock is always the next check.
I mean, you say that, but in my cast boots race, I ran right past it. I was not thinking properly.
And I suppose if you get really early mitts, you might go to King's Tomb straight out of Sank.
That would be pretty wild if you got like both gloves in the escape sequence and then could just hit King's Tomb right away. That would be really interesting.
And that looks like a big 20 in Lumberjack, so we're not going to be seeing that today.
Yeah, just a big 20. Okay.
Oh, and Shireen is rushing the mountain. There we go. See?
The guy is a real clown.
I mean, the starting sword helps because at least you have something to keep track of you in the dark.
Absolutely. Yeah, I find that, you know, these mountain dark rooms are not terribly difficult, but without the sword, I do find that I take a little bit longer than I should, and I just think about that time loss. If I don't have a sword, I would never give it a go. Well, not never give it a go, but I would try and put it off, I'd say. But let's see if this gets Shireen a little extra something here.
Well, it gets him dead rocked. Also, Flip Heel showed us that the Tier 1 tree pull is a full magic jar, so that's pretty nice to keep note of. As we find a bow in Blindside along with a lot of money. But that bottle from Old Man could be interesting because if Sick Kid has something, Shireen can get it and Flip might not be able to.
Yeah, that could work out quite nicely. Bottle is not guaranteed to be found in Kakariko here, that's for sure. So Shireen could have a nice little advantage there with the Sick Kid play.
Of course, a bottle could show up in the well. It's been known to do that before. Wow, Shireen really wants his health. Even more money in the well. We're just about at Zora money, though we'll spend 100 on the bottle vendor. And Zora's in logic with the glove, too. Not that the money puts it in logic, because the game assumes you can farm money if necessary.
Right, right. Right, chicken hut here. What do we got? Just more arrows. Okay, so we've got the bow. We got a full quiver of arrows here. We're ready to roll for Eastern Palace, maybe. But not much else is popping off here.
Well, Eastern's a crystal, so good excuse to do it. I always associate Flip with Chicken Hut because his going live notification is, "Where is Chicken Hut and what's inside it today?"
Oh, really? That's funny.
But yeah, I wonder if either runner will do Eastern before South Shore.
That'd be interesting. I can probably see that because you've got the Saha checks as well to kind of loop in there. We've got enough health that any dark room concerns are kind of moot at this point. So yeah, it could happen.
Right, it's 6 checks total. And there's even more money on the race game, and Flip's thinking, yeah, I'll get it because Zora. So where's he off to as Shireen hooks around to the Chicken Hut? And I wonder if Shireen will buy bombs here, because we haven't seen any other bombs, so Flip ran out, Shireen just ran out. And it looks like we are getting that early Saha Eastern play.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see, since this is a 5-6, when we hit the Dark World, I'll be interested to see if the other 5-6 is something that's pretty readily doable.
Yeah, right. Okay, only 50 rupees at the sick kid there.
Well, that'll pay for our bombs.
Good point. Yeah, watch, the other 5-6 is going to be Misery Mire or TR or something dumb that's usually late game.
Of course. Oh, yeah. Good call by Shireen. Check library, and he gets his bombs out of that and saves 50 bucks.
He's just going to check the maze here.
Yeah, I doubt he's... Yeah, I didn't think he would... If he's not doing the race blind, I didn't think he'd then go into the race to get another 50.
Yeah, for sure.
And let's see which way he goes. Also doing Saha Eastern. Now, because of the early glove, Flip went up to Eastern directly and hasn't checked Saha yet, is that right?
That's right, yeah.
Also, we saw an ether on Lake Hylia Island that Flip did not scout.
Yeah, he might get that intel when he heads down to South Shore. Might do some water walking or something along those lines and catch it then.
Yeah, that's another thing about the boot start. Water walking's really easy.
Yeah, for sure. A bunch of junk in Saha's closet there. Oh my goodness, so many 10 arrows.
Yeah, well, hey,
Yikes.
we'll certainly be able to kill Armos Knights.
Yeah, we've definitely got the supplies settled on that front.
Ooh!
Alrighty.
So this was definitely a good play.
Yeah, most definitely. I guess like South Shore is likely where we're going to find our next piece of progression into the Dark World. Maybe a Moon Pearl might show up. Otherwise, we're going to be kind of running out of checks. And now King's Tomb is actually on the table this early on.
Yeah, there's a nice quick check. I still don't have the Moon Pearl. That's probably the next thing we want to find.
That is definitely the next thing they want to find, yeah.
I mean, Hammer might be good. Hookshot might be good, you know.
Alrighty, heading into Armos Knights, let's go.
Doesn't quite get the quick kill there.
That's so annoying when it looks like you've done it right, and then you're just off by a hair there, and that last knight gets a little annoying.
Yeah, definitely unforgiving. This room that Shireen's now in is decidedly not easy if you don't have any sort of fire source.
It's a tricky one. Like, you think it's pretty straightforward, but actually getting this one right, it can be a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah, you have to find the Igor, shoot him while he's awake, because of course he won't take damage if you shoot him while he's asleep, and then pick up the key.
Yeah, so Shireen has skipped the vanilla big key chest, which we saw had 10 more arrows in it. Whether he'll dip back into the dungeon, I think probably not. He'll maybe take his chances. He's got the mitts already. He's maybe farmed everything out of this dungeon that he can, or at least that he thinks is necessary, and might be willing to leave that one item behind.
Yeah, it's a 50-50 gamble. But it obviously won't hurt him, and in fact will save him time if he doesn't come back for it. So let's see. King's Tomb was nothing, and now Flip is going to do that mountain play, and maybe he'll scout out Spec Rock, because Shireen only went as far as Old Man. We don't know what's on or in Spec Rock.
Yeah, it seems like we're going to get the King's Tomb check from Shireen as well. We're just holding off on the whole South Shore situation right now.
Yeah, I mean, we've got... Like, if you include Aegina as something generally in the south, that's 11 checks in logic, and then we can easily water walk and do the flippers checks that way, and then Zora's in logic. So I think this is Shireen giving us the... Flip doesn't want to check Spec Rock either. They both broke logic for Old Man, and... Oh, no, it was just for the Old Man. We don't actually care what's on Spec Rock.
That's funny. I mean, every trip up the mountain costs you time, so I can kind of see it. We got literally nothing else we can do except for Spec Rock, but taking the time to save the Old Man, what's a couple more seconds, really?
Ooh, there's an early cape. Not necessarily what you want to see, because we're now lamp away from Aga access.
Yeah, and after Titan's Mitts already showing up, that's the thing you don't want to have to do. You feel like you should be, one little piece away from Dark World access, and the game might be sending you in a different direction.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing would be if Moon Pearl is on or locked by Pyramid, and hey, there's the Fire Rod. Does it work well after sitting underwater for so long?
Yeah, you just gotta shake it off a little bit.
Ah, okay. That might have been helpful in that Eastern Darkroom, though again, both of these runners did fine in it. Oh, and Flip is farming Zora money here, and I assume he'll go to Agena while he is in the area.
Yeah, stands to reason that he would, yeah.
Well, I guess this is not an Agaseed.
Nice. We like that.
So that was a Red Meringue, Bombos, and Moon Pearl. As well as some more money, so Shireen is very comfortable and comfortably into Zora money range. And Agena just has health for us. Which, as you remarked earlier, this seed has been giving us plenty of.
Yeah, pretty healthy start for sure.
I'm really grooving to this MSU.
Yeah, it's a good one. I'm vibing for sure. All right, Shireen heading straight for the waterfall, and Zora checks here.
So there's an interesting technique Flip Heel does in here to guard against getting a fourth piece of heart that Shireen didn't. Because oh, well, never mind. We have Moon Pearl.
Ah.
I forgot about. Yeah, you don't need to worry about that with Moon Pearl. Because sure, if we got a fourth piece of heart, it would send us into the bath, but then we'd come out and we'd be water walking again.
Dang, Zora's a ripoff today, that's for sure.
Yeah. So, I guess Dark World it is. We have full clearable Skull Woods.
Yeah, as long as it's not the green pendant, might not be a bad idea to just start right there. We've got the equipment to do so. A fighter sword moth is like not the most fun fight though, so I could see runners maybe hesitating just a little bit on that play.
Yeah, I would definitely get that. And Flip just scouted his ether, by the way. And there we go. Green Pendant, Myron, and our other 5/6s. TR, like you were saying.
That's how it always goes. This game just knows, man. Just knows.
Well, I guess Ice Rod's not in Pyramid Fairy.
No, not today, baby.
So let's see how this Skullwoods dip goes. Like, since Shireen's effectively locked out of the front unless he wants to risk the drop down, which he doesn't, is he just gonna go for the back now and clear out the front on the way out?
Yeah, could do. Nice job locking out those Gibdos there.
Well, we've got the map and the compass. Yay! Oh, right, and Flip never did Sick Kid because he went to Mountain a bit later.
Right, yeah, makes sense. All right, Shireen heading right for the back there. Let's take care of Moth.
I just realized with that Green Pendant Mire, we might not actually see the flute this seed.
That's true, yeah, that can be left out of the equation entirely. Nice clean torches there from Shireen.
And at least he's at good health going into this Fire Sword Moth fight. And has a few Fire Rod shots.
Yeah, was definitely trying to save magic along the way as best he could.
And the thing about the caliber of runners in Invitational League at this point, like, anyone in Invitational, I don't doubt their ability to do Fighter Sword Moth, even if it would not be their first choice of boss fights.
Yeah, for sure. And we've also got, I mean, Shireen didn't even need it, but we did have the red potion if worse came to worse. Oh! Fire locked fire! Your favorite thing.
Yeah, I mean, Rule of Fire is strong in this one.
Yeah, that was a really nice fight from Shireen.
That also gets us one item out of the way. Would be kind of funny if the second one is here in Bridge Chest and then we don't need to touch the rest of the front.
That would be nice, yeah.
Nope.
No such luck.
And, hey, those Gibdos are nice for death warping, that's for sure.
Yeah, they definitely do the trick there.
Flip a bit lower on health, so he's got to be a bit more careful, but again, he does have that red goo.
Gonna have to use it a bit earlier than he would have liked, I imagine, there.
Yeah. We also do have the cape, but not much magic.
Yeah, this moth is not playing nice here, really making him work for it.
Yeah, I think it helped Shireen that he had a lot more Fire Rod shots and he was able to start with those.
Yeah, the Fire Rod really like bounces Moth around a fair bit as well, I find. So it gets him like off of that top wall a little easier.
There we go. Ooh, Shireen takes a death right before Pinball Chest. Which...
That's really annoying.
I guess by process of elimination is either our second item or has the big key leading to the second item.
Mm-hmm. That's one of those like little deaths that like it really isn't of huge consequence, but it's like really annoying as a runner to have that happen to you.
Yeah, and then you have to go back for it because it's just kind of hanging over your head of, well, what if this is something I need?
Yeah, and Shreen's already skipped that 50-50 over at Eastern, which we know is nothing, but he still doesn't know that. So, you know, you can only take so many like gambles like that. So you're not going to leave that one chest, even though you took the death near it.
I don't think I agree with Flip's decision to walk out from Bridge Chest. I think the Death Warp would have been faster.
Yeah, Death Warping was the play for sure. Okay, Quake Medallion.
Ooh, yeah, so that cape could be required if Quake is required. And we also have knowledge of all three medallions now.
That's nice to have. Oh wow, Structural Mike with the knowledge there. Walking out is quicker if you need more than 3 hits. I did not know that, but that makes sense.
Well, Flip was already down. Oh, no, but he's healthy. Right, he has one more heart container than Shireen, so he did need 4 hits. Interesting. I saw that he was down 2, so I thought, okay, he only needs 3 hits, but no, he has that extra heart container. So here's our first look at Village. Actually, it's pretty nice that we're already 2 crystals in.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's running pretty smoothly so far. A lot of the dungeons that we want to try and get off the board early are accessible, and so, yeah, nothing's really slowing our runners down yet.
Of course, you have to make the call about, do you want to do thieves without a hammer and risk orphaning something in the big chest?
Yeah, I'm definitely pro just going for it and thinking about that hammer situation later.
Looks like Shireen's doing that because it's a oh yeah, flip, you might want that quake. I mean, we don't know
Please
if you
come
need
back.
it, but you're here, you should probably grab it. And there are the flippers in Thieves.
Yeah, piece by piece, we're collecting a lot of nice stuff in this seed, so it's good to see that we've got just more stuff on the table for runners to do.
Yeah, and I think since this is a crystal dungeon, if you go into Thieves, you're planning to clear it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome that Diddy turns into a banana as his bunny form.
Nice.
And Samaria, wow, Thieves is definitely the play.
All right, checking the brewery first before any dip into Thieves Town potentially here. Flip might even skip it still. Well, remains to be seen, I guess.
Flip's just getting all the heart containers.
Supposed to be extra healthy. Okay, so we are... Oh, we're still... Okay, I see what we're doing, yeah.
So we got 2 items in the front of Thieves, and there's 50-50 that the big chest is just locking itself anyway.
Right, yeah. Yeah, like if you're doing the first 4 and you pull like basically all dungeon items, then you're pretty close to you're feeling not quite as good about the absence of hammer, but with 2 nice items off the rip there in those first 4 chests, you're more inclined to kind of keep digging the dungeon, I think.
That said, I totally was not paying attention to what was in the attic chest.
Did I see like a compass?
Oh yeah, it was a compass. I caught it the second time around.
There we go.
So now we're at the point of, we have the small key and 2 items left. So if Blind Cell has the small key, then the big chest necessarily has an item that we're leaving behind.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, Shireen getting a bit bodied by the Zazax here.
Yeah, that got out of hand pretty quickly there, unfortunately for him.
And they also do quite a bit of damage on green mail. It's actually kind of impressive that the game expects you to be on green mail doing this dungeon, and there are so many enemies that take 2 hearts.
I mean, the thing is, I think with the randomizer, like, we've gotten used to having enough safeties as we're going through some of these dungeons, but in the vanilla game, this is all really hard stuff, Like, it's pretty, uncompromising.
I mean, you have access to 3 bottles by this point in the vanilla game.
I guess so, yeah, and I guess you just gotta, manage those resources, I suppose.
And down goes Blind. Very nice script there. Another heart container!
Wow, we're building a second row already for both runners. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, and with the one in Blind Cell, Flip's gonna be at 13 hearts by the time he gets out of here. I'm sure Shireen's glad he fluffed that piece of heart in Mushroom Spot.
I mean, it could really come in handy later on. I don't know. We just saw him get, like, bodied by a bunch of Zizeks there, so, I mean, like... He needs every heart he can get. And agreed with chat there. I would definitely take more hearts as opposed to no hearts.
Yeah, if you want to see no hearts, watch the spoiler finals from earlier today between Gamachu and Andy.
Oh my, that must have been like a banger.
Yeah. And also shows that even S-tier runners do sometimes make mistakes when they have very little health.
Yeah, spoiler is such a tough thing to balance there. Like, do you have any time to go for a safety, or is it just like absolute bare minimum?
Okay, so Shireen decided not to pick up the Smith. That's an interesting choice. I feel like most people after doing Dig Game would go back and grab the Smith.
Yeah, I guess it's all depends kind of like on where his like end point here of this particular bit of routing that he's doing is. Like what he's actually thinking he wants to end on. Is he going to go all the way to like pod, and so he doesn't want to lug the Smith around with him?
Well, I mean, if you're doing pod, you definitely don't want the Smith because then the Smith turns into Kiki.
Yeah, right.
I mean, poor Frog, like, goes
That's not
in
what
a
he
frog,
signed up
comes
for.
out a monkey. Okay, there's Powder and Half Magic. Can't do Magic Bat yet. And Flip also not thinking Smith right now. It's just fascinating that, like, both of these runners skip Smith. Both of them do Death Mountain out of logic, but don't check Spec Rock.
Yeah, it's interesting to kind of see what, I guess, like kind of trends emerge almost. You know, like what runners think are valuable, like checks to make and when to make them. And so for both of these guys, like they're seeing the mountain and being like, no, I just want that spawn location, basically.
And it does seem likely that Pod has progression at this point because we're kind of running out of stuff, though we do still have Pyramid Legend Catfish.
Yeah, like if you're taking the Smith around with you and you're doing in Pyramid Catfish is your end game, then I can definitely see you doing part of Smith Chain at this point. But yeah, I think Pod is probably the play. Although, you know, Ice Palace is sort of accessible. We're missing the hammer still to really complete it, so you don't really want to dip that dungeon. But there's a couple items, I suppose, that could be within reach.
And the lamp put the mountain in logic, so whatever's inside Spec Rock is now in logic, which it wasn't when the runners went to the mountain.
Yeah. Ice Palace would be a really fun kind of play to see right now, I think.
Hammerless ice. Oh yes, everyone's favorite.
It'd be like a fun gamble to see like actually like pay out for a player, you know? Like it'd be like nicely done. You know, that's not the thing that everyone would normally do, and you did it. So, but nothing but safe strats here from these two. Pod is, you know, more loaded with items, so it makes more sense to take a peek in here first.
Yeah, you're guaranteed 4 items in logic in here, maybe 5 if the boss doesn't have an item. So, going back to these runners and their teams, Don't Forget to Track Us is the only winless team in Invitational at the moment, which blows my mind because last year not only did they make the playoffs, but they swept to Infinity and Pagog out of the playoffs.
Yeah, a really formidable team. Just a bit of maybe bad luck and tough competition in these first couple weeks here, so they're off to a bit of a slow start. But I got to think that they'll shake it off and start to put some numbers up pretty soon. We could even see it in today's match. It's still anybody's game this early on.
Yeah, and of course your mom's favorite Rando team are pretty good favorites in the division, with Gamachu and Fear Agent being the other members of the team.
Yeah, pretty stacked little roster there, gotta say.
Interesting play by Flip to go and do the vanilla big key chest, because it's very likely a key for a key at that point, so usually you do right side first. I know right side is annoying because as Shireen showed us, you basically have to death warp to get out of there because no hammer. I mean, the game expects you to be in there with a mirror, but we don't have a mirror.
Yeah, right.
Chat asking about what week 3 is, since we said this is the last match of week 2, as we find silvers in Harmless Hellway. That's a nice find. So next week we will have almost all dungeons key sanity, where the GT big key is on the pedestal, forcing all the pendant dungeons to be completed, but you don't necessarily have to do Castle Tower. Hey, there's the mirror sitting in Dark Maze all along. So now the mountain seems like a good play.
It does, but also that only gets us Hera. It's one of those things yeah, I've got a thing I can do now, but it's not really a whole lot.
I mean, there's an item inside Spec Rock and there's an item on Spec Rock, so that's 4 items total.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely might bring our runners up into that area, and I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, it's when you see that item pop up at that moment, you're like, oh, this is nice, but it's not that kind of immediate oh, I've got everything to do now. You've got oh, I got a couple more checks to do.
Flip Heel showing his opinion of that shield.
Nice.
It's a good thing we found that mirror, because now that we're at Blue Mail with this many hearts, death warping is really hard.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit tough now.
And we're going to see Hobo from Shireen. That's another kind of one-off that's in logic that we haven't seen yet. Also kind of noteworthy because flippers haven't led to anything yet, so...
yeah, you're right.
I know Structural Mike in chat has been wanting an Ice Palace play for flippers to logically lead to something.
I mean, it would be kind of awesome. I'd be okay with it.
And Shireen's gonna do Pyramid Ledge while he's here. Will he continue to catfish?
I mean, seems likely. You're otherwise, I think you're probably going to be orphaning that spot.
And just some arrows on Pyramid Ledge.
Yeah, that's the other thing about map, looking at, or a mirror, looking at the chat there. The isolated locations that have popped up on the map now, Cave 45, Graveyard, Bat, those are, I guess you could do Smith Chain now and kind of loop all of those except for Graveyard into one neat little package there. But
the problem is if you do Magic Bat, you sacrifice your Mirror Portal.
Yeah, it's all kind of not the best way to be doing any of those checks, but maybe you're being forced into doing them, and it's a tough decision to have to make as a runner, but it's going to be in a spot that is maybe not ideal.
And Catfish is garbage, and as long as Flip Heel's just following on Shireen's heels, he's not going to catch up. We need divergence at some point.
Yeah, Shireen's starting on Mountain, so looks like he's going to take care of Spec Rock and Tower of Hera. See if we can finally get a little bit more progression, get us a little further into this seed.
And the time difference between these runners, by the way, is really just, the time it took Flip Heel to farm some Zora rupees and check a Gina.
Yeah, very close still between the runners here. Yeah, nothing really separating these two at this stage.
Nice big key up front. We don't have the hook shot. We cannot Harapot, so you're really hoping you don't have to do the basement for the big key.
Alright, so 2 dungeon items early on here on the first floor.
Yeah, it does kind of increase the risk that there might be an item in the basement.
And if you come
Go ahead.
I was going to say, if you come up this far for it, like, you're unfortunately probably going to waste the time looking in the basement, even though it could be the progression, but it's another one of those things, like, you're already up on the mountain here, you're probably going to have to check that spot if it comes down to it.
Exactly. But we just got both items, and with Moldorm being a pendant, Shireen is out of there. So,
yeah.
That was not the answer. I know Structural Mike in chat has been begging and pleading for Ice Palace to be the answer. Cameraless Ice Palace.
It's still on the table, man. Don't count it out.
So this is probably a Smith chain play for Shireen.
Yeah, this could lead down to, like, Akir in chat's saying, first chest to swamp. You could write that in at this point now. I mean, we're getting down to some kind of, like, ugly stuff. So, you could definitely give it a go, see what happens.
We have a whole host of horrible locations to check.
Truly, yeah.
Oh, Shireen's doing Graveyard Ledge, okay. Because again, like, you're wondering if the flippers lead to something, you're wondering if the mirror leads to something.
Yeah, we've been given all these little pieces that help us around the world, but so far they're just giving us absolutely nothing in return.
And Flip, I don't know if this is a hedge against it being a ped seeder, if he just hasn't thought about the fact that this is a pendant and we've found both items.
Interesting.
A hedge against a ped seed, if that's what he's doing.
With that third pendant being Meyer, like, I don't know about this.
Yeah. Well, his teammate in chat, Ikir, is saying that it's a hedge against a ped seed. But yeah, well, the thing is, if we get the flute, that gives us both Desert and Meyer. So we're flute away from ped being in logic.
Yeah. I mean, and we that could be the thing that we're going to find next. We're thinking that it's probably, it's the hammer, or, something that'll actually get us through a dungeon. But it could just be more movement around the map.
Yeah, and we're still hammer and ice rod and hook shot away from go mode. But yeah, if there's nothing on ped, Flip's just put himself a bit farther behind. And let's see what Shireen is going to do magic back here at the cost of his portal. I don't know if he's then going to go back through the portal so he can do Cave 45 on his way to delivering the purple chest.
Yeah, I wonder if that just might be I'll come back to it later.
Magic, that's not the answer. So yeah, both runners going out of their way to check Graveyard Ledge, but Shireen's Orchid Cave 45. We'll see if Flip plays it the same way.
Yeah, this little wrinkle that we've run into here is pretty annoying.
Now we're rapidly closing in on having to dip Hammerless Ice or Hammerless Swamp, but hey, there's a mushroom and we don't have the flute to turn it in, so that's going to be a lot of running.
Yeah, I guess we'll take the little portal here, but yeah, like just more fetch, you know, like yay.
Also, interestingly, Shireen still hasn't checked Agena. I guess he figures, you know, if it is anything, since it's a Sphere 1 check, he's probably screwed at this point.
Yeah.
Oh boy! Hello, book! So, besides the fact that that's desert access, we can also check the tablets, and
I can't wait for it to be Ether Tablet, because our runners are not going to want to go back up there.
well, I'm a bit surprised Shireen's starting here because, well, yeah, I guess you can double back to Cave 45 from this portal, right? So, but he's not going for the portal, but he has the mirror out. What the heck is he? He's just going straight for desert without wanting to portal and check K45 and Bombos on the way?
Oh, well, he doesn't have the hammer, which would be the problem.
Oh, right. Right. His only portal is Cack Portal. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I wonder we haven't seen them use any other portals.
Yeah, right? It's one of those things where you just, like, especially at 50 minutes in, you're like, the hammer's in the inventory, right? Right? And when it's not, you're like, what are runners doing? What's going on here?
Okay, so here we're going to get some... Well, no, Flip will still need to turn in the mushroom before he can check Bombos. He's going to have a portal when he turns in the purple chest. But it's the mushroom, and he'll need to convert that to the book before he can do Bombos. So, I'm interested to see how he'll play that. Shireen's so far just finding dungeon items in desert. I mean, what would be really awful is flute in desert, and then you start to wonder if it's pet seed.
Yeah. Yeah, if flute is the next thing that shows up, then I would be a little bit more concerned about the idea of a possible pedestal. You know, but I mean, the flute would also just open up the Mire area, so it's not a done deal by any means, but it at least enters the equation.
And that's one item in desert, and it's just a piece of heart. And there's Hookshot in Cave 45, so Shireen needs to go back there soon.
Yeah, that's the thing we're looking for sure.
Yeah, so we could, in fact, full clear swamp now that Specky Clip's legal.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I didn't see if Shireen got anything in the big chest there.
He did, yeah, just 10 arrows, so that's both items out of the dungeon.
So, not going to do Landmos.
We assume not.
I assume he's just running out so he can do Agena. And Desert Ledge. I don't think we've seen Desert Ledge, have we?
I think it was just rupees?
Oh, yeah, okay. And here is the swamp play from Flip Heel. Definitely one of those cases where the legalization of Specky Clip is really affecting the meta.
Mm-hmm.
And as Shireen gets his 14th heart to match Flip's 14th heart. Where is he off to now? Oh, excuse me, Shireen's 15th heart.
Oh my goodness.
And that, our one in-logic check in Swamp is just the big key. Oh, is this an ice play from Shireen?
All right. Okay. I mean, I guess this could still somehow work out in some way for Shireen if there's something really good in here.
Yeah. I mean, of course, there are a couple of checks that we can't get to without the hammer. Very nice, easy, specky clip by Flip. He just flies through there. With the early big key, we can just check big chest right off the bat. Also, this going immediately for compass chest says to me that he's not thinking left side, at least for the time being.
Right.
No, left.
I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. I had to think about that for a second there. You got me. You got me.
But yeah, still a possibility of the God Swamp even, where the left side is just map and compass.
Wouldn't that be something?
Now, this check is complete, that Shireen's doing is completely out of logic without the hammer, and we get a vanilla big key, so that means that the big chest is also out of logic without the hammer.
Mm.
And unfortunately, we do have 2 items on left side Swamp.
You can't escape it.
I haven't been counting. How many items in ice is that?
I think that's 2.
Okay, so Ice Tea is both the last check in logic and the last check we can do in here, period. Though I guess, I mean, if you're rooting for Shireen, you probably want, like, Hammer and Ice Tea at this point.
I think that will be what would save him for sure here.
And those early silvers about to pay off. Flip, unfortunately, has to wait for the extra cycle, but yeah, that second phase is really nice with silvers. Oh, and Coldster has an item, so ice was not the answer.
Darn, that is too bad.
So, I mean, my best guess at this point is a sword on left side Swamp, and then there's something on a tablet. But Flip is not going back into Swamp for those 2 up. No, right, that's out of logic, so what do we have in logic?
I mean, just East Death Mountain and...
Oh, right,
Death Mountain
Hookshot,
as well.
duh.
Yeah.
That's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, Hookshot's kind of changed this one here, but Shireen is likely to pick his up pretty shortly, having, you know, abandoned K45 as a check. He doesn't have too many other options at this point, so... He's now just, unfortunately, down a Swamp Palace.
So, just to be clear, since we don't have a hammer, the runners had to choose between Magic Bat and Cave 45. And, wow, Paradox Cave is now Sword Cave.
Nice.
So, both of them did Magic Bat. Flip Heel went back to the portal and then did Cave 45. Shireen never went back to the portal until just now. Okay, those 2 swords are sure nice for Flip, but Shireen is about to get them momentarily. Of course, he's down by a swamp now.
Yeah, it's just a tad tricky to see where Shireen can make up some time here. It looks like the seed is kind of showing it to be a little bit linear. Um, so he's put himself in a bit of a hole here, and it's a little bit tricky to see where he can make up the time. I guess if the flute is the thing that pops up next, then maybe we make plays into Meyer or not. That kind of decision point.
I mean, the hammer needs to show up at some point soon. Though it is
It's
crazy to
it's
think that
definitely over here. Yeah.
hammer could be on bed if flute shows up. Oh, there it is. Spiral cave.
And decent point by Tharkus there that Shireen does have the book and Flip doesn't yet. So, I mean, if Desert being a pendant and not finding anything good in there, I guess is the tablets,
Yeah,
potentially.
Flip is Ice Rod from Go. Shireen, I imagine, will check Ether Tablet while he's up here. I mean, that's probably the big thing that could save Shireen if Ice Rod is on Ether Tablet, because, Bombos Flip might get around to it. Ether, I don't see when he'd do it after getting book.
Yeah.
I guess he would probably do it when he went up to eventually do Turtle Rock without the Ice Rod, if that's how things are laid out.
Mm-hmm.
So we know where our third medallion is, so there's no need to check the TR medallion. Well, you probably do want to check it to see if you need to go get the Ether or not.
Yeah, right.
And so here's that check. Do we need to go back and get Ether? Or it's Bombos, so...
Nice. Both runners bailed out here.
I don't know if you want to go in, though.
Hey, I mean, you're only an Ice Rod from Go.
You probably do Spike Cave while you're up here. We have enough hearts we can just cheese it.
Mm-hmm.
And the cave puts it in logic. Yeah, so here is the Spike Cave play from Flip. Oh, he's not even trying for a fairy or anything to cheese it. He's just going to use the cape.
Yeah, half magic, I guess just, burn that magic meter.
Yeah, and Tier 1 tree pull is full magic refill, so that probably doesn't hurt either. Oh, well, there's his 15th heart.
Nice. So Shireen also not thinking about heading into TR at this time, having already kind of dipped a couple of pendant dungeon and a dungeon that he couldn't complete. Definitely thinking like, I can't keep making these dips that aren't paying off.
Yeah. I mean, now that he has the hammer, I'm sure he'll do Swamp. Well, no, he hasn't gotten the hammer yet. My bad. He needs to do Spiral Cave.
Yeah, it looks like he's doing that last here.
Okay, so this will be a one-shot Ice Palace for Flip Heal.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
I like this rearrangement of the Gilgamesh theme. Or Battle on the Bridge, if you want to be technical.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so if Flip wins this, the seed will have turned on his decision to go back through the portal after losing his portal on Magic Bat and getting hookshot out of K45.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. All right, so it looks like Shireen making a return visit to Ice Palace here. You just want to get another crystal on the board. You're an hour in, and you've got 3 done. You want to be more along the way there, so it makes sense to just kind of blitz this one again real quick.
Yeah. And Flip showed us that one of the items Shireen wasn't able to get was just a big 20. Fear hoping that his teammate full clears swamp and Ice Rod is on left side swamp. That's another out for Shireen. I don't think Flip's going to go back in there and do that anytime soon.
Yeah, there are still a number of locations that this could turn this race again. So you know, stay with us here. It's not over yet.
And of course, at some point, both runners need to go back to pod and finish off Helma King. By the way, that double dip of pod was hard required because you need the mirror to get the hook shot, and you need the hook shot to get the hammer.
Huh. That's not fun at all.
It's pod. Is it ever fun?
I don't hate pod.
So, even with Shireen go moding ice, Flip will still be the first one into Cold Stare here. It's nice that we're up to Tempered Sword, finally.
Yeah, definitely making it a bit easier for our runners, even though they've got plenty of health. Yeah, the sword situation was pretty dire for the longest time there.
I love how Leo themed the dungeons in this MSU, because this is Final Fantasy. This is the 5th Crystal dungeon in Vanilla, so we're getting Final Fantasy V music.
Oh, that's pretty smart.
So that is crystal number 5 for Flip Heel and 4 for Shireen.
Yeah, the finish line feels like it's within sight, but we are on an ice rod hunt, so you never really can count your chickens before they've hatched with that one.
Also, while we're running back to pod to finish it off, shout-outs to both of these runners. Please give them a follow.
Yeah, definitely top-tier runners, great members of the community. They definitely deserve a follow if you are not following them already.
Also, shout-outs to our tracker, OJ.
Yeah, OJ doing a great job. Second time tracking here, keeping all those buttons pressed. It's excellent. Really appreciate that. Alright, so we're back in pod. We are just rushing Helma King here. We've already taken care of every chest in the dungeon.
Yeah, and I don't think Helma has an item, but I could be misremembering.
Yeah, I can't recall either. I wasn't really keeping track of everything that our runners picked up in here.
Mostly I just remember the mirror.
Yeah, same.
Though there was also a shield in there, I remember that, and blue mail. Oh yeah, and silvers, our tracker's reminding us. So maybe we just did get those 4 items, and Helma has the 5th.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, this would be a super close race if Shireen didn't have to go back and still do Swamp.
True. I mean, let's just imagine that he's already done it, and this is really intense right now. We're really enjoying this. We're enjoying it anyways, but imagine.
Yeah. Now, Flip still never did pick up his book. That's the other difference between these runners. So, I think Shireen's big outs at this point are Left Side Swamp and Bombo's Tablet.
Yeah, I think you're right there. There's not too much left, and those are the spots that he's got the advantage on with that with the book there. And when you're going into the swamp this late in the game, looking for just one item, you're gonna have to full clear it. So if it's over there, that would be great for him.
Yeah, with 2 items on left side at this point, I don't see him skipping that. I mean, I imagine he'll do the back first, but that he'll then go back in for the 2 items.
Yeah, I mean, the only concern is, like, he'd have TR to also try to dig into, and you might think, I've got to try and cut some corners and maybe just rush TR instead. So we'll have to see what plays he makes here. Flip heading up the mountain, you got to go for TR at this point and hope that Ice Rod is in its vanilla, or in the Rando vanilla dungeon, always being in its own dungeon there.
Ooh, Flip was doing so well with the Waffle House drive-thru and then fell off the ledge.
That happens to me like every time I try and do the drive-thru, so I don't do it.
That's because you're a member of Underachievers, and that's like Underachievers' luck.
That is, yeah. All right, so first thing first here, Shireen's going to get a look at Bombo's tablet, or not?
No, he's...
We're saving
I
it
mean,
for after,
I
maybe.
get this. You just do Swamp. It's a crystal. You need it. And then probably Bombos is your next play if Swamp doesn't have it.
Yeah.
Whereas from Flip's perspective, all he has that isn't in TR are Left Side Swamp and Potion Shop.
Right, yeah.
He doesn't know that Potion Shop has book. So yeah, I think if Ice Rod is in TR, that's GG's.
Yeah, I would say so.
Of course, if Ice Rod is on Left Side Swamp, close to GG's, but... Right, Flip can't save a mirror portal is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because you need the mirror to get back into Swamp.
Yeah, I mean, whichever dungeon houses the Ice Rod here is going to pretty much determine who the winner of this race is, just the way that it is this late in the game, looking for one item.
Oh, boy! Ted is officially in logic.
No.
Oh boy, so I think Mire and Desert are gonna be Flip's next plays if the Ice Rod isn't just here.
Oh, like, that's so bad.
I mean, I know chat wants to see Ice Rod on Ped. Chat always wants to see Ped.
Like, I mean, of course, this seed, yeah, there's just no easy answers for our runners. I mean, listen, we could still run into the Ice Rod up here.
And if it is a Ped seed, then the fact that Flip did Moldorm will actually pay off.
Oh, man.
One way or another, this is a heck of a race.
Yeah, it's been a great one for sure.
Yes, GFE in chat pointing out that Week 3 has a guaranteed Ped pull every seed because we know the GT Big Key will be there.
That's awesome.
And, With the vanilla big key, TR is decidedly not go-modable.
Yeah. You can't really save too much time on TR. There is like definitely little time saves you can make, but yeah, when the big key is there, that really gums it up.
Yeah, I mean, then because you've spent all your small keys, you have to do the big chest even if you're in go mode.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and Shireen is not going for left side swamp or Bombos. Little does he know he just blew all his outs.
Ay, ay, ay. I mean, like, you do get it. The guy has dipped a bunch of dungeons that have not paid out. He doesn't want to waste any more time, but man, like, you know, we're all here watching this going like, yeah, you got to do, these are your outs, man. Go for it. But yeah, you understand.
Right, I mean, he doesn't know those are his outs.
Yeah, exactly. And unlike a mode like all dungeons where you're expected to clear everything, in Kaz Boots, like the idea is that you're not supposed to clear everything, and if you're spending time doing literally everything in the game, you're probably not going to win. At least, that's what you think. So we'll have to see if Ice Rod shows up here on Laser Bridge. If it doesn't, and that the flute might lead to more things, then Shireen's outs come back to being into play again. So he could then double back and maybe do the Bombos tablet at some point.
Oh, that's rough because you're hoping to save your portal first.
Yeah.
Though it does raise the question, how hard do you try? Because Checkerboard Cave, oh, and hello, Final Fetch Quest as we get the shovel on Laser Bridge. But yeah, Checkerboard Cave prevents a portal save. And Flip is actually death warping? What the? No. I think he just didn't think about what he was doing here. Oh, yeah, he has to get off the mountain, so to save his portal, he has to death warp because he doesn't have the flute activated yet.
Right, yeah.
That's what it is. Not something you see often, because usually when people are saving portal, they have an activated flute.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so to recap, literally the only things we haven't seen yet are left side swamp, Bombos tablet, Ped, and Mire area.
Yeah, everything else has been accounted
and
for.
Dig Spot, which we're about to see.
Right.
And Dig Spot wasn't the answer. To answer chat, yes, Shireen has been into Desert after getting the book. And he got both items. They were both in the front. They were both junk. So, yeah. Now that Flip has the flute activated, he's probably going to get his book. But then probably do the Mire area.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Oh, he is going straight to... Okay, he never checked Desert Ledge, I see. But still, I'm surprised he's not thinking Mushroom Turn-In. Okay, now he is.
Now, I'm thinking that if he's trying to save that portal, is he going to dip into Desert first before doing Mire? Is that a thing that would make sense, or like, or am I just crazy?
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see because Myers Shed is two really quick checks.
Mm-hmm.
And so then it's a matter of how much time do you want to eat up trying to save your portal?
Oh, bat.
No. Is he thinking hammer pegs? We haven't seen hammer pegs yet. I forgot about that one.
Interesting. Okay.
Because of course, when we did Magic Bat and Smiths, we didn't yet have the hook shot, and Hammer was behind the hook shot. A little bit surprised he's doing this before Meyer area, though, just because I don't know. Maybe he's so committed he will portal save out of hammer pegs. I mean, it takes a lot of hits, but you can do it.
Right, yeah.
And it's not hammer pegs. Oh, nope, there goes the portal.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like, it's hard. It's more work to save it, and you're just not finding the thing quickly.
Right. I see. That's why I could see Meyer area as a potential play because there's that murder dactyl that you can take a death to pretty quickly. So if Meyer Shed is your answer,
Yeah, I could definitely see that being the way to save portal still.
and I did not catch what Meyer Medallion is. Oh, and see, it was in Meyer Shed, so Shireen could actually, if he does Meyer Portal, Meyer Shed, while he still has his portal saved, that could save him quite a bit of time. Not sure if it's
Interesting.
enough time to get him back in this, because he still needs to go activate the flute first. Or, nope, he's not saving the portal. Okay, so that's probably GG.
Yeah, gonna be a little bit tricky. I mean, he's a little bit far for GT routing to catch him all the way up if he gets really lucky with that. So yeah, he's in a bit of a tough spot now.
Yeah, I think portal save and beelining for Meyer Shed would have been his best chance, but he didn't know that.
Yeah, why would that be your first thought and the thing that you're definitely gonna stick to?
Also, this is going to be like a 135 Kaz boots, which is not something you often see between two top runners.
No, yeah, it's been a kind of a cruel siege, just throwing our runners every which way.
Oh, yeah, and Pixcalibur in chat remarking that TR is a hard required double dip.
Yeah.
So, double dip TR, double dip pod, great seed.
Great, yeah, truly.
So let's see what Shireen does here, also with the activated flute. He's of course already gotten the book, so I have to imagine he's thinking Meyer. I was honestly a little bit surprised that Flip decided hammer pegs over Meyer area.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be Shireen's go mode.
Yeah, and it's like it's unfortunate because it's not like he's like that far behind, but there just isn't enough time to really make up the gap that he does have, unfortunately, behind Flip here.
But assuming Flip's lead holds up, I'm sure Don't Forget to Track Us will be happy to finally get some points on the board.
Alrighty, so both runners in go mode. It is a race to the finish here. Just TR stands in our runner's way before we head towards Ganon's tower.
Yeah, so Shireen's basically behind by a full TR traversal.
Yep, yep. Yeah, pretty nice there from Flip getting through the first phase.
And now it's time to play a game we won't be playing again for several weeks in League.
Oh, wow. I guess not, yeah.
Get your GT Big Key predictions in. Spend your points if you like.
Nice. Where are you thinking it's going to show up today, Drossi?
I always love Rando room bottom left, but that's just me.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. It's a
You
good
have a
spot.
favorite location?
I don't know if I have a favorite. I do like the Rando room. It's a good room. Yeah. I don't have a favorite spot. I'm going to say like Bob's chest today, I guess.
Also a good spot. Yeah, so with next week GT Big Key always being on PED, and the following week is spoilers, so the runners will know where the key is. Yeah, it's gonna be a while before it's something anyone has to guess at again.
All right, so we're heading to Hope Room here.
Ooh,
No key.
Forced left. So, you know, if Shireen Dark Magician routes and it's in Compass Room, that could potentially be an out for him.
Could definitely help him make up a fair chunk of time there. Yeah.
And Flip is not trying Pink Magician to hedge or anything.
No.
So here's map chest check number 8. Just some bombs. I believe last year you and I called a race between Andy and Zelga where Zelga had a, solid couple minute lead, and he went Hope and didn't get a small key and went left, and Andy Dark Magicianed, and
It's like, it can make a huge difference, yeah.
Yeah, and Big Key in Compass Room was enough to swing that race for Andy. So I mean, just looking where Shireen is now, looking where Flip Heel is now, Shireen might be able to take the lead if he Dark Magicians and it's in Compass Room. There's our third bottle in Rando Room. But it's sure got to be close if it's Compass Room, because Flip is almost through the left side and back, and Shireen will first have to go to Stalfos Room in any case.
Yeah, most definitely.
I guess there's also the real Pepega play of just brushing Tile Room.
Ooh, right side for Shireen as well. Yeah, Tile Room rush would be pretty wild.
But Shireen is out of there as Flip gets the mirror shield in Bob's chest. So that's what you meant when you said Bob's chest, right, Sabo?
Yeah. I meant the mirror shield was going to be there. That's what my mic was on mute for a second there, so you missed it.
And it was in the vanilla room anyway, so Shireen wasn't gonna have a chance at beating Flip Heel to it. And I believe that was 16 for those of you keeping score at home.
Nice.
So, GG's to Supernin Taylor, who just got a 27-1 payout on Vanilla Room.
Dang, that's pretty good. All right, heading up into the gauntlet. Flippy, let's see what he can do here.
I love how, like, Leo gave, you know, Kefka's Tower and the final battles of Final Fantasy VI as the endgame theme here. We heard that on Dark Death Mountain after the 7th Crystal, as well as GT Basement and GT Climb.
Right. I mean, it's such a banger of a track.
Yeah, no. Shoutouts to both of these runners for awesome MSU selection.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely easy listening today for sure. Good vibes.
Crazy to think we've only been having MSUs on SpeedGaming for less than 2 years.
It's been. You say it's only been. I'm like, it's been that long? Where have I been? So a really nice climb so far from Flip Heel. Not much to critique at all. Easy peasy for him.
Yeah. 16 hearts, half magic definitely makes it pretty straightforward. And there's the big key for Shireen on his 17th check, just to make it a different number than Flip Heel. I'm guessing if Shireen had saved his portal, he'd probably still be behind, but on the order of like half a minute rather than 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, it would have been a lot closer, and we could have seen, you know, some of the like the climb here could have made a big difference. Aga and Ganon fights could have, you know, really played a big part here. But yeah, without the portal save, he just couldn't make up much of the deficit, unfortunately. Pretty nice Aga 2 fight there from Flip.
Chat asking about how you portal save when Ice Rod is in Mire Shed. Well, from Mire Shed, you could die to the Murder Dactyl outside, and since Aga 1 hasn't been defeated, you would respawn in the Light World and still have your portal.
Already into phase 2 in Ganon here. Flip's doing some nice jobs with the dash strats. Really clean, so we're into phase 3 already.
Yeah, this is gonna be a quick Ganon fight.
For sure.
Ooh, nicely timed fire rod shot from that far away.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, Ganon's pattern there just not allowing for any double hits. He's going for all the corners there.
Get your GGs in for Flip Heal. Don't forget to track us their first win. They will go to 1-3. Your mom's favorite Rando team will go to 2-2.
Yeah, really, really nicely done by Flip there. Good stuff. GG's for sure.
And he gets an official race time of 1:33.41 as Shireen takes a Moldorm fall. I don't know if that was because he saw the dot done. He must have seen the dot done because there's the forfeit.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get our runners in here for an interview.
Yeah.
We are joined by our winner, Flip Heel. GG.
GG's.
All right. Give us some opening thoughts on that one. What did you think?
I did not feel great actually. Yeah, this one, the hammer was gross. I felt like I went to pod, which at the right time, but there was this between killing the Hera boss and potentially overclearing. I was a bit worried he was maybe a bit more efficient, but yeah, this and then I could have dipped Turtle Rock for the flute the first time. I wasn't sure if like doing it,
Mhm.
even looking for the ice rod, figuring coming back up was worth it, and probably would have been worth it this seed. But yeah,
Yeah,
crazy
it was definitely a seed that had a lot of places where you could fall into traps, basically, just like lost time. Basically what kind of happened to Shireen here. He dipped Desert Palace when you didn't have to, dipped into ice without the hammer, thinking maybe it could luck out and get something there. So there's a lot of like pitfalls for this one, which made it kind of like a gnarly seed to navigate, and the items just didn't help you guys out at all. So really understandable that you would not want to dip TR the first time there, for a flute. Yeah. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you should watch it back. It was actually kind of amazing. You guys basically did all the same things right up until that divergence after Smith and Magic Baton before Purple Chest.
Wow, that's crazy. But at the same time, I could almost see it the seed because like you didn't have mirror for a long time, you didn't have flute, you didn't have hammer, so it was, your options weren't really great. So I
The,
can kind of see it.
the only real divergence was you were about a minute behind Shireen because you had farmed some Zora money and gone to a Gina, whereas he had never done that, and he just got the Zora money out of Mini Moldorm Cave. So he'd saved a
Yeah.
bit of time there, but other than that, you guys were doing all the same plays.
Yeah. I like splitting up South Shore and Kaz Boots since it's pretty quick, and then yeah, I figured one farm wasn't too bad, but yeah, figured I was maybe a little behind to the Dark World, but nothing crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if I have any questions.
Let's
I'm not
see.
prepared
I
for this segment.
remember a couple. Oh, right. I was a little surprised you went back and did hammer pegs before trying the flute locations.
Well, basically, well, I did most of the flute locations. I figured Bombo's tablet, given where Mushroom is, if there's an off chance he does Smith Chain somehow a little early, like if he hands in the Mushroom in before Mountain, I figured I was in trouble if it was Ether Tablet anyway. And then I don't know, it was that, and after the one flute to potion shop and hammer pegs, I figured anything else was gonna probably be too difficult to save a portal. That's why I kind of just bailed.
Yeah, makes sense. We could see that you were definitely trying to save that portal for as long as you could without it being like totally a waste of time. So it made sense that you had to ditch that and then check out the Meyer Desert situation.
Oh, what do you know? The other male was on Ped.
Nice.
I mean, that was one of the very few things we didn't see.
So this first win for your team, how you feeling about how the season is going so far? A little bit unlucky maybe these first couple of games, and maybe you're finally righting the ship.
It does feel good to secure a win against, I would say most people have these two teams as like the top two favorites. So, that feels good. I would have liked to split versus the Drifters, but, they played really well game 2 and we had a little mishaps in the first game. But, all in all, pretty good games overall. So I'm happy with how we're currently doing.
Nice, that's awesome.
Get the hard weeks out of the way early. Yeah,
Well,
are you planning to play next week, or leaving it to your teammates, or what?
We were on the fence about it, but I think last minute we decided I'm gonna run, and Iker's ready, scheduled with Gilga. So.
Oh yeah, tomorrow night, in fact. That should be a
right on.
good match. 7:10 Eastern tomorrow. Iker versus Gil.
Cool. Keep an eye out for that one. All right. I don't know if I've got anything more for you. Flip, any final thoughts on how this one went?
Bob's chest sucked, and
Unfortunate.
Yes,
yeah,
we also saw you bomb the chest and pod that had the first shield.
yeah, didn't have time for the second one, but what are you gonna do?
Nice.
But yeah, just thanks for the comms, restream, tracking, all that fun stuff. Looks like we're the last game of the week, so that was exciting. Thanks for getting the last one in, and
Yeah.
looking forward to next week.
Cool. Good stuff. Yeah, well, I guess that's going to do it. So GG's again to Flip Heel, our winner in today's race. GG's to Shreen as well. Hard-fought battle here. A little unlucky with some of the dungeon dips there. But I guess we're going to start to wrap things up. I want to thank OJ doing the tracking, second day doing tracking, and excellent work all around. Really appreciate that. Looking forward to having you more joining us in the booth here. And to my co-com, Drossi, always a pleasure, buddy. Thanks so much for bringing me in on this one. And I'll leave the last word to you.
Yeah, no, thanks for joining me. I'm really glad we could do this. Again,
You bet.
GG's to the runners. Give them a follow. Check out the schedule. We have a ton of matches once again coming up this coming week. This will be the first time AAD keys has really been featured competitively. So come and check it out and see how it plays out. And yeah, most immediately, I guess it'll be kicked off for Invitational League at 2:10 Eastern tomorrow. Faker Jr. of Motabashin and Nilsson Alex of the Spec Rock Bonkers. And we put the links in chat, so check out the schedule. Give the Speed Gaming channels, Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 through 7 a follow. And yeah, thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you for some AAD keys.